3 losses in the last like 50 some matches.
Oh yeah, man.
Why is that not the biggest story in club football?
The Brazil, baby, man. This is Brazil.
I mean, they are outstanding.
That's a horrible Toretto impression. Not like, oh my god, I gotta edit this and
That's
I gotta
getting
like
clipped.
Yes.
Welcome back, everybody, to Between the Posts. Welcome again. My name is Eric. To my right, we have my co-host, Enrique.
What up? How's it going?
How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to Between the Posts. We're covering Gold Cup, we're covering Club World Cup, and a big summer of football. It's heating up, you guys. We've got some qualifying, the end of qualifying for our knockout rounds. We're going to be talking about the remaining matches in the group stage. Who's in, who's out, everything like that. Anything you wanna discuss before we get started here?
No, man, I just want to shout out to all the people that have been, tuning in, giving us some like kind messages.
Yes, thank
you,
everybody.
Some feedback. We especially appreciate the feedback because I mean, this is like even though we really enjoy what we do, we're just trying to make it better for y'all too.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate every single one of y'all. Keep following us on our social media. It's gonna be down in the description of the video. But let's just get the show on the road, man.
Let's do it. All right. So we're gonna start off with the Gold Cup. A lot of matches played already. Most of the groups are finished up. I say most of them. 2 of the 4 groups are completely finished up here. So advancing, we have Mexico, Costa Rica. We have the United States topping their Group D, and then Saudi Arabia advancing in Group D as well. But unfortunately, we also have some teams that are out officially. Our first timers, Dominican Republic, even though they had a great showing, they will not be advancing. Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, and Haiti will also be out going forward. Who do you like in this tournament, man? Anybody impressing you so far?
Well, right now, I'm biased, but let's move bias to the side.
Okay.
Let's just welcome our guest for the tournament, Saudi Arabia.
Welcome. Yeah, seriously.
They've honestly been pretty surprising. They put up some tough fights, and this happened the last Gold Cup whenever Qatar was our main guest of honor too. Mm-hmm. They went pretty far as well. And I guess we're getting a repeat of what happened last year. Oh, not last year, but the last Cup. So USA is gonna go against Costa Rica. Mm-hmm. That's your side over there.
Yeah.
But for me, it's gonna be Mexico against Saudi Arabia. We'll be taking on our guest of honor. It should be a tough fight, in my opinion. We did have a game that we should have won yesterday because we're filming this on Monday.
Yeah, so Sunday night.
On Sunday night, we should have won against Costa Rica, and we'll get into a little bit of that in a little bit. But when it comes to Saudi Arabia, you actually don't know what to expect from them. I mean, like I said, they've managed to come out of second from Group D. That's coming on with the U.S. And so that really could have. That group was already solidified on its own because I don't want to get into it too much, but USA had a pretty easy path to get out.
I would agree.
Yeah, they had one of the easiest paths to get out.
Saudi Arabia, pretty good defensive team. I don't think they need any tactical, help defensively. Now they're going to have to score some goals in this tournament if they want to win, but I don't think defensively they're going to have any troubles at all. Gave up a nice goal there to the U.S., but I mean, it took everything for the U.S. to break them down. They had nothing going on the offensive side of the ball until that goal. So, looking for Saudi Arabia to carry that defensive form here into the quarterfinal. But yeah, man. I mean, we've got some matches going on later this week that'll finish up the Gold Cup for us, and we'll have everything probably coming out this Thursday when we preview the quarterfinals for the weekend. So look forward to that, you guys. Also, Club World Cup.
Oh my goodness, man.
So Club World Cup, we've had some banger matches. I think it's pretty evident that this Club World Cup is a huge success. I think the FIFA president came out and said this week that he wants soccer to be the #1 sport in America, and that's FIFA's goal long term. If you keep continually having tournaments like this in America, or even if you invite some of these MLS teams to the Copa Libertadores and things like that, you know, you're going to see fan engagement skyrocket. I think we've seen fans from all over the world show how great this sport is and how great you can be as a fan. So I'm excited for these USA fans to really, really like latch onto these teams and really develop these special relationships that you can develop with your clubs if you care and you watch the sport and you love the sport. So also special shout out Seattle Sounders FC. Look, I realize you didn't get any points. You did me proud. You didn't roll over. You played some good football. You scored a goal against Botafogo. I got mad at Botafogo for that. But here's the thing, is Botafogo is elite defensively. So for you to score a goal, good for you guys. I'm not going to hold that against you guys any longer. Seattle Sounders, man, make a run. Make MLS exciting for the rest of the season. I'll be rooting for you for the rest of the season just because of that. So we'll see how many other people are rocking with Seattle Sounders going forward. But
yeah, I mean,
let's talk about some of the winners.
Yeah, he's very excited about it. I'm not.
Miami's
the
Miami
Liga
got a big,
MX just embarrassed me. But I knew from the very beginning that
LAFC was not any good. I'm not sitting up here saying MLS was great. Miami has a chance to advance.
I would feel
tonight.
like that my Club America would have put a little bit more effort to this tournament.
LAFC did not impress anybody.
No, they just
needless to say.
yeah,
but Miami has a real chance to advance tonight. We'll get into that. I just wanted to shout out the fan base and the club in Seattle. You guys did MLS proud. So let's get into some of this.
While we're in the topic of the fan base, dude. Shout out South America, shout out Asia, shout out all of them, bro.
Red Diamonds,
packed out. Oh my goodness,
Red Diamonds, you were heard.
Y'all are showing what Otas are supposed to be like. Not like Sounders, bro. Like the whole meme of like fight and win thing. Like it's not like that. That's true dedication. That's true love. That's what it's supposed to be. Coming from the MLS and everywhere else in between. That's how you should do it. Traveling all the way from different parts of the world to show not for your country. Yeah, like your country's in the tournament, but not as the whole country. That's like a small part.
Yeah.
And you managed to come out and support your club, bro. Props to y'all, man. Wow, beautiful displays.
Absolutely. Red Diamonds had some really, really great supporters. Flamengo, Botafogo, Boca Juniors,
River Plate,
yeah. I mean, just utterly impressive displays from the fans. And fans make the tournaments. I think you'll see, like, we can have Gold Cup and we can have great matches between, like, sides like Haiti and Trinidad and Tobago. But if there's nobody there to see them and there's nobody in the stands, it's a little bit of a disappointment. So, really, the fans make everything. And they talk about home field advantage in a lot of other sports. You can bring home field advantage anywhere in football. Yeah. Anywhere you are. The Ultras, they travel. It was incredibly impressive. But that aside,
It's like jumping on, like getting off topic from, like, well, staying on topic, but take a little detour of it. Whenever, like, the Astros, they play against the Rangers out there at Arlington.
Yeah, they travel.
They travel, and it's louder whenever the Astros score than whenever the Rangers do.
Yeah.
So we are bringing that same energy from y'all's home countries, y'all's home, I guess, like, neighborhoods, quote, because it's not really the neighborhood, but like y'all are doing that and y'all bringing it over here and y'all showing everyone, like, bro, like, this is how you do it. Not like the Gold Cup where what match was it? They played here on Saturday.
I think that was what I was referencing. It was Haiti versus Trinidad and Tobago.
Completely empty.
There might have been 200 people in the stands.
It brought not even like maybe like 100 or so. It felt like an A's game or something. Like it felt like we were back in COVID, where like
that's a good comparison. That's a good comparison, I would say.
That's exactly what it would have felt like. I'm like, bro, really? And like even the commentator, like, super loud, and you can hear it like through the microphones from the action cams. Action mics. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was bad, but that's another topic. That's another discussion right there.
And I don't necessarily think it's up to the public in the United States to go and support these teams. I mean, it was at Shell. It was in Houston. I
okay.
don't know
You know
how
what?
many
Yeah,
I don't know how many
okay.
Haitians in whatever else. If you're a fan of football, you shouldn't really matter. It shouldn't really matter who's playing. Like, you know, during the American football season, I'm watching games of colleges I do not care about. I don't care about any of these players. I don't know their names. I don't know the coaches, and yet I'm still watching. Why is that not my prerogative for world football with nations like Haiti and Trinidad and Tobago? I don't know, but
And
I think I think that's relevant.
Like being from Houston, it's like we're labeled as the most like diverse diversity. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of variety. There's if you meet someone like random across on the street, they're from somewhere.
Yeah, they're
not from here.
Yeah.
So it's like either they don't enjoy the sport themselves, and that's one issue, or the fact that they want to support but they can't afford it.
That's
so,
also
and then it
another
comes to the
issue,
point
yeah.
where, okay, how expensive are the ticket prices? Even though that let's say they're not a popular country, like why? Like what can we do to make sure people are in the seats?
I'm also not concerned. People are leveling concerns about the overall attendance for a World Cup in America. That's not going to be a problem.
No,
Like, I don't imagine any of those matches.
It is going to pack out. It is going to.
I don't imagine any of those matches are going to have attendance issues.
No.
And if they do, I mean, chalk it up to a poor matchup. I mean, seriously, I don't expect there to be any problems getting. I think it's the pedigree of the nations themselves that are warranting their attendance turnouts, and that's all I'll say about that. We got a little bit off topic, but
hey,
Club
that's
World
good.
Cup, we've got some really great teams showing their quality so far. We've had some disappointments. Chelsea is a massive disappointment for me.
In general, too. In general.
God, and that Nicholas Jackson red card was crazy. So for my Bayern Munich squad, some good showings. A little bit of a scare against Boca, but they got the goal they needed to win, and they advance. So far, it's pretty obvious that they'll be advancing. They still have a match to play. My team of the tournament so far has been Flamengo.
And the
being able to
in the
watch
group
them,
chat you were talking about it.
Yeah, so
bro.
being able to watch them and see them put on that display, and then it's part of the reason why these tournaments are so good. You get teams that you don't really get to follow during their seasons or during your regular everyday interactions with the sport. 3 losses in the last 50 some matches.
Oh yeah, man.
Why is that not the biggest story in club football?
The Brazil, baby, man. This is Brazil.
I mean, they are outstanding.
That's a horrible Toretto impression. Not like, oh my god, I gotta edit this and
That's
I gotta
getting
watch
clipped.
it. Yes. Ah man, that's bad. But we move. We move.
We have River Plate with 4 points. Internacional Milano. I don't know, man. We could be looking at River Plate and Milan both advancing out of Group E. Borussia Dortmund looks like they have a possibility of advancing in their group. I think we both picked them. I think we picked both of the group leaders in Group F.
Because it got to the point where we didn't know the other 2 teams, which is Sundowns.
Now, I'll say this about
Ulsan.
Sundowns. Sundowns had a really, really dramatic showing against Borussia Dortmund. A lot of people paying attention to that match just due to the fact that Sundowns came down, I think it was 4-1.
And then it was ended at 43.
Yeah,
correct?
and so they came back. They scored some goals. They showed some heart. A lot of fans from around the world tuning into Mamelodi Sundowns, I think, for the foreseeable future, just due to their performance. And I think that's another reason why you do this, why you do this tournament. You want to get eyes on as many teams as possible. You can be a fan of multiple teams in multiple regions, and I think that's really what they're trying to expand. You don't have to have. You can be a diehard, Chelsea or Man United or whatever else. That can be your diehard, but you don't have to support just one team, man. I've been a big supporter of multiple teams in multiple regions and multiple sports. I think you can do it, and I think you can be a real fan while doing it. So, if you find a club that during this tournament you found a club that you're just like, man, I want to know more about them, make them one of your teams. Follow them. Keep track.
Yeah, and then we have Group G, which is already solidified, which was a no-brainer. Is Juventus and Manchester City, both at 6 points with no losses so far. I mean,
That was a pretty straightforward group.
There's nothing much to talk about for that group. And then Group H, where I think I mentioned it was the group of death, which was Real Madrid and Salzburg with both 4 points. Both have a win and a draw. Al Hilal, where they could come out from behind and try to take it, but you never know. And then you got Pachuca.
Who is Al Hilal's last match?
Al Hilal. Ooh, I'm
Who
trying
did they play
to remember.
last? Have they played Pachuca? No, they have not. So they'll play Pachuca.
Because Pachuca played against Real Madrid the last game.
So this is an interesting scenario here in Group H that I want to discuss. So Pachuca against Al Hilal. Al Hilal gets the W. They score goals and they win. Madrid beats Salzburg. All of a sudden, you have Al Hilal in that second spot.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like a last match day thing, and then we didn't really discuss it. If we want, we can hop back to that point for the Gold Cup. But like, because we were before the show, we were debating on like what to do whenever it comes to like making the episode like till Monday for next one, like record it or record on Thursday. But it was like it got to the point where like, you know what, like we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's too many unknowns right now, so we're just gonna have to let the schedules play out. We'll have to see the matches themselves.
Yeah, because like I'm a very big like don't look at the stats type of guy, because the stats say one thing, but whenever you actually see the very end of it, it's gonna like it tells you a whole different story. Like, yeah, they may have 38 possession and like so many shots, but like the score says otherwise.
So yeah, going on that along that line, Botafogo, when they beat PSG, they had 25% possession.
Yeah,
I mean, that's insane when we're talking about giving up possession of the ball and ensuring your defensive security, absorbing pressure, counterattacking, putting the ball over the top to secure your goal. I mean, they had to suggest like don't just watch the stats. If you looked at the stats, you would tell yourself, man, PSG, they just couldn't break down the door and they got a freak goal on the other side. When I tell you folks, if you didn't watch that game, PSG could do nothing. They had no answer for the 3 defensive midfield 4 backs. Like, they couldn't do anything with 7 in the box against them. So yeah, don't look at the stats. Stats lie, especially in this sport.
Yeah, I mean, like that's why it's called the beautiful game, because like you can look at stats when it comes to NBA and stuff like that, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, you have stats, like you shoot, you score. But when it comes to football, like you can have all this possession, you can have all this stuff going on. But it's just at the end of the day, it just matters like
if you have one shot on goal,
like whoever scores, yeah.
If you have one shot on goal and that shot went in the net, like that's all you need.
That was it, yeah.
That's all you need.
Like the other team can have 20-something shots,
as long as they don't score.
If none of them went in, then you don't have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you probably walked all over them, but who came up on top?
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. It looks like we pretty much covered everything from the Club World Cup. Well, if you want, we can hop back in the Gold Cup. But I really want to talk about this thing that was on my mind for this week's hot take. As we all saw, like, well, we were talking about a little bit ago. It was the passion from like South America, the passion from Asia. But I'm not seeing that much from Europe. So here's my quote that I wrote down for the hot take. The best football isn't in Europe, it's in South America right now. So people at home, chime in also, let that sink in.
Yeah, tell us if you agree with that. Is the best football in the world being played in Europe, or is it being played in South America? Let us know what you think.
So let's start right here with you. What from that take right there? Like, what is your opinion?
So I think a lot of things, like, I mean, you can give somebody. So I work in a restaurant. A lot of times you'll give somebody something and they'll say, "Oh, I don't like this," and you can do one of two things. You can make them something completely new, or you can give them back the exact same thing and tell them that it's completely new. And they'll treat it like it's brand new, and they'll tell, oh, it's so much better. Thank you so much. You can basically, sometimes just because something is assumed to be new and shiny, you like it. And you like it more than the old stuff that you had. The grass is always greener type of thing. I think we're seeing some great performances coupled with great fan turnout and passion. Obviously, I spoke about how difficult it is to get a result against Flamenco itself. I don't know if I'm ready to say that the best football in the world is being played in South America based on like 5 or 6 matches. However, you can make a case that Brazil, Argentina, these leagues are legit leagues, and that we should not be calling them farmers leagues or whatever else that we call them. They're legitimately like the 5th and 6th best leagues in the world. I think that's something that we can actually agree on.
And just to piggyback off of your thing, I'm like, whenever you mention Farmers League, the only league that comes up to my mind is Ligue 1, like with PSG. Like every tournament, we're like, oh, like you gotta top your league to qualify. PSG is always gonna be there because there is no real competition in France.
Yeah, I would argue that's true.
There's no real competition. It's only them. They keep on winning now. Like don't kill the messenger. There is still some like teams coming up. But you can't beat oil money.
I would argue that the second, third, and fourth best teams in Bundesliga are better than the second, third, and fourth best teams in the French league. So
I take you up on that. Yeah,
Leverkusen.
I back that.
Dortmund.
Leverkusen, Dortmund, Frankfurt.
Yeah, if you want to like Eintracht,
Bayern, like all of those.
Yeah, I would argue put those 4 in a group against the top 4 in France. And,
oh, for sure. That's a cakewalk.
Yeah,
because there's more competition. But Bayern pretty much has that league like.
Oh,
like
for
settled,
sure.
Like settled down.
Look,
but it's not a cakewalk though.
Before Leverkusen won the league last year, Bayern had won like 11 or 12 years in a row.
Yeah.
Or maybe even 13. I think they've won 12 of the last 13 Bundesliga titles. Which is, a lot of the times you say, well, that's a farmers league. Only they win the title. There are so many good German players coming out of that league and being sold all over the world. I don't know how you can possibly say that the level of talent or level of competition in that league is lower than some of these others, but I mean, I would so much to say I would put Brazil over the French league right now.
Oof.
You have to. Well, if Botafogo can beat PSG, on a good day Flamenco can beat PSG, and if Flamenco and Botafogo can both beat PSG.
Okay. Let's play devil's advocate real quick.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Let's take out some of the teams from France.
Okay.
And let's say you put in Flamengo, Botafogo. Let's put Santos in there. Like you throw those in there.
Yeah.
Like let's say you're playing God and like it's like
we can just do whatever we want.
And like you put them in the French league. Mm-hmm. But do you think that they'll still be able to top PSG? Or is PSG still going to be able to
they're going to play them probably
spot?
A couple of times a season. If you can get results at least 1 or 2 times, you're going to gain points and everything else in that league. I mean, PSG is getting points off these teams too. So if PSG is your biggest, like it's like Real Madrid and Barcelona. Mm-hmm. You hope to get points against each other, but really it's how many points can you get outside of El Clasico? Like at the end of the season, your matches with Real Madrid, if you're Barcelona, if you beat Real Madrid, you win the league. That's generally how they play their football is we're going to beat all these other teams, and then in El Clasico, we got to get points so that we can win the league. And if you drop, the derbies in England and all these, that's why these matchups are so important, because there's generally only a couple of teams that you're going to lose points to at the top level. So
You got me there on that one. Jeez. Yeah, you got me.
No, I just think that's true. So if you're Flamenco, Botafogo, and you enter League One as a hypothetical, yeah, like beat up on the other teams, get as many points as you can, and then when you go up against PSG, like do your best to get a result. Obviously, it's easy to say, but I think they could do it.
Jeez, I don't know why I'm getting a cough attack.
Yeah, that's all right.
But yeah, man, I think okay. So we pretty much hit everything right now. If we want, we could go back to it. But we hit all of the
anything we missed. I think we can
the Gold Cup stuff. You know what? Let me go on a quick little rant here.
You had something you wanted to say.
It's not a crash out, but let me just get this part on there.
Go ahead.
Mexico should have won, and the refs are blind. Like, how do you not know your own like rules? Because so if you didn't watch the game, for the people at home, it was a pretty tough game. Like
so you're referring to Mexico and Costa Rica.
Yes, correct. That game was pretty tough, and at the beginning of our podcast, the first episode, I talked about it. I'm like, look, like whenever we picked them in a group, well, we got drawn into them. Like I knew this game was gonna be interesting, and because you got Piojo Herrera, which is Costa Rica's coach, who was Mexico's ex-coach, with the reason why they were able to go to the 2014 World Cup. Goku, as they call him. And I knew the way how his tactics are, and it was gonna be a tough game. But we have players that are now in Europe that it took some time, but now they're back, and it was a tough game. We put up a lot of shots. Some moments should have went in, but I mean, you have a keeper like Keylor Navas, who was probably one of the best keepers for Real Madrid in their history, and for sure the best keeper in Costa Rica like of all time. Like he was stopping left and right, but whenever it came to that final set piece, the final kick, it bounced off the defender, the Costa Rica defender, which triggers. Keep in mind, it triggers a new play, and with that, it ricocheted off of him. But it went up in the air and was able to be a bicycle kick for Santi Jimenez, which he hasn't scored in a while. He was on a pretty nasty drought, which, in my opinion, is going to help him out in the long run because... I
mean, there's nothing like seeing the ball go in the net.
Yeah, but the fact that he's getting a lot of criticisms because he hasn't been doing much for country, but doing a lot for club. But... he wasn't doing enough for country.
Yeah, Team USA has that problem too.
Yeah, but
looking at you, Josh Sargent.
That's another crash out right there. Coming soon. And but yeah, like how do you not know your like the rules? And I'm not blaming the match official, the main one. I'm blaming VAR. Like if you saw the ball bounced off,
we'd be
like,
rich men
off
for every
head,
dollar if we blamed VAR.
Yes, because okay, keep in mind whenever the play started, like the set piece started, he was offside. I give you that, and it was clear offside. But if the ball would have hit Edson and then Santi, okay, like nobody would be pissed. But it bounced off the Costa Rican defender, which in the rules it triggers a new play. So because that happens, he was able to do it, and vice versa. But I'm not mad because Mexico versus Costa Rica was a formality because both teams were in. Both teams already qualified because you had the Dominican Republic and the name Suriname. I'm sorry that they were already they've been gone. So, but this was just a match, just good that they had to play, but. We wanted to, we would have sent out the B team for both teams so that main starters can get the rest. But I mean, come on, dude. Like VAR, like you got to do better.
Yeah, I agree. A great goal like that to take it away and then to be wrong on top of it about taking it away, it just can't happen in tournaments like this. If you want to do it in some lower league and get away with it, that's fine. But everybody's watching, everybody's paying attention. It's a match between nations. You just can't have stuff like this happen. So to take that goal away, yeah, it's inconsequential in terms of Mexico topping the group, but ultimately they deserved a goal there. I would agree with you.
Yeah, and just a little like, if you want my advice, people at home, people where you're watching, or on the audio side of it, watch all your games through the Mexican commentators, because I wanted to sit down and watch the FS1 side, but I couldn't, so I waited to the very end to wait for the match highlights.
Oh my goodness.
And Donovan was like just chewing in on Mexico, and whenever Raul Jimenez made a diving header, he's like, "Oh my God, I could not believe you couldn't make that. You're from Europe. What are you doing?" I'm like, bro, shut up. Like, dude.
We're gonna repeat that Landon Donovan graphic from last week.
Dude, shut up, man. You can't make no diving headers, bro. That's why every time we played against you, we always whooped your ass, bro.
I guess Landon Donovan thinks that every European striker is just Van Persie or something.
Yes, bro. Like, I digress. Jesus Christ. Freaking Donovan.
Landon Donovan's gonna make it on this show every week.
for the rest of the tournament, and if he hops into the Club World Cup, I'm gonna be.
He's like, did you guys miss me?
I'm gonna lose it.
We have more content coming your way.
He's for sure gonna be on the World Cup, but I'm for sure gonna be sticking to my Teo de Ende side, my Mexican side, or whatever. I'd rather watch the Arabic side, like commentate, because they're more like.
There's a lot more energy and passion.
They're more like Allah whenever they score.
It's better.
Yes,
it's just better.
But yeah, on that note, speaking of better, we want to thank you for tuning in to watching this better episode of the last one. We hope you liked this episode. Comment, subscribe, do whatever you can. Tell your mama, your daddy, your granny, your bald-headed granny about our episode, and let us know what do you think? I mean,
share with your other football-loving friends. You know, we're just trying to grow the game in America, trying to grow the game in the city. We want to talk about the matches, but we also want to talk about, you know, the game itself, worldwide, everything that's going down. We have a really big opportunity here in the United States with the World Cup coming, with a change in the MLS schedule coming to resemble the rest of Europe. I'm looking forward to the MLS eventually raising their salary cap so that we can include more better players, that we don't lose these big players that are seeking these world-class salaries. You know, we don't lose them to the Saudi League. We don't lose them to the Prem, that we can actually afford to keep and pay our best players here and keep them here. That's my ultimate dream for MLS is, and you'll see some people in circles talking about MLS and the Club World Cup saying that this was a huge missed opportunity for them because they didn't do these things. They didn't include, or they didn't increase the salary cap. They didn't make it easier for clubs to bring in star players so that they could compete at a higher level than what we've seen so far. I think these MLS directors are going to see the level of competition that the rest of the world is putting out and understand, like, MLS just isn't there. And coming up in this next year, we have a huge opportunity. Now, there's not a lot of changes you can make in a year, but you can start. Like, you can put your foot in the ground and go, you know what? This Club World Cup is the last straw. MLS is not going to be embarrassed anymore on the world stage. We're going to bring in good players. We're going to make a focus on development. I mean, in my opinion, the best U.S. prospect since Pulisic is already signing a contract for Man City when he turns 18. Like, Quinn Sullivan is gone.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or Kevin Sullivan, not Quinn. Quinn is left back.
Well, whoever he is, yes.
One of the Sullivans. He's already going to Manchester City. So let's, as MLS, if you're an MLS fan, you know the struggle. But ultimately, if you're not a fan and you just like watching football, you know, tune in, tell your friends, share us, subscribe, everything like that. Follow us on socials. And we're going to be bringing all the football content we can to you guys as the weeks progress. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Peace and love, baby. Let's get it.